there is a place where light has never reached, a throne raised upon the bones of broken promises. There, the Prince of Darkness rules an empire built on deceit and despair. But there was a day, a single day in eternity, when that throne received a visitor, and nothing was ever the same again. The Creator descended into the depths. Light pierced the heart of darkness. Love walked where only hatred had reigned. This is the story the shadows try to forget, and that heaven still celebrates in silence. When the body of Christ lay in the tomb and the stone was sealed, the universe held its breath. Heaven fell silent, the earth wept, and hell, for the first time, waited. Darkness believed it had won, yet in the heart of eternity, something stirred. The one who sustained all things was descending to the place where time has no shape, where light is a forgotten rumor, and hope exists only as memory. He descended not as punishment, but as promise, not taken by death, but guided by authority over it. While the body rested motionless upon the cold stone, the Spirit of the Son walked through corridors that had never known purity. Hell trembled. Its walls, built from fear and memory, shuddered before the presence of the One who had given existence even to the abyss itself. The flames faltered, and the air grew heavy, not with guilt, but with the holiness invading it. The demons felt him before they saw him. They recoiled instinctively, remembering the sound of his voice in the beginning, when the stars were named and light was separated from darkness. Now that same light descended clothed in glorified flesh, marked by nails, by suffering, and by obedience. Jesus walked among shadows that tried to hide, and wherever his feet touched, the black stone split, releasing golden fragments that looked like blood turned to radiance. The souls watched him, men and women of every age, kings, slaves, prophets, and traitors, rose to witness the impossible. Some wept, others turned their faces away, unable to endure the reflection of what they had lost. And yet, even there, something within them remembered. The presence of Christ was the living memory of what humanity had been created to be. Hell, which fed on absence, now faced the fullness itself. The Son of Man moved in silence. The voices of the condemned faded. Death, which believed itself sovereign, withdrew. And when he reached the central square, a plain of obsidian where eternal sentences were carved, the inscriptions began to shine red, as though justice itself had awakened to witness. Jesus walked through them, and the words dissolved, not because they were erased, but because they had been fulfilled. Every step closed a debt, canceled an accusation. The sound of chains breaking echoed through the abyss, like the bells of an inverted cathedral, announcing not destruction, but deliverance. At the heart of hell, Lucifer's palace rose like a monument to pride. Its towers were pillars of solidified shadow, and its ceiling was a false firmament where no star dared to shine. The throne, forged from corrupted gold and adorned with gemstones that no longer held color, was a profane imitation of the heavenly throne, a symbol of the lie sustaining that empire, the illusion of power. The doors opened with a metallic groan, and the sound traveled through hell like a cold wind. Lucifer was already waiting. His face still held faint traces of a beauty long lost, but his eyes betrayed ruin. "Welcome to my home, Nazarene," he said, his voice laced with irony, attempting to conceal fear. "Here, every soul belongs to me. Every desire, every failure, every weakness. You yourself declared, 'The soul that sins shall die.' They died. They are mine." Jesus stopped before the throne. The distance between them was infinite, yet the silence separating them felt heavier than any word. Slowly, he raised his hands. The wounds shone. The light that flowed from them came neither from sun nor flame. It was the very essence of truth. "And it has been paid." The echo spread like thunder. The walls trembled, and cracks streaked across the ground like rivers of light. Lucifer staggered. "You cannot break what has been written!" he shouted, his voice reverberating through the columns that began to collapse. "The law demands death." Jesus stepped forward, and the sound of his movement made the air tremble. "And I died," he replied. Lucifer's throne quaked. The floor split open, and from its depths emerged a radiance hell had never known. Demons covered their faces. Souls began to awaken, like those remembering an ancient dream. Then, in the hands of the Lamb, appeared two keys, one silver, reflecting justice, the other gold, radiating life. When they chimed together, the sound seemed to cross time itself, reaching even the tomb where his body rested. The gates of hell opened, chains shattered, and the air filled with voices, some weeping, others praising. Every soul freed was a spark rekindled. Some ran toward the light, others remained, held not by force, but by their own pride. The Son of God did not impose freedom. He offered it. Freedom has always required a choice. Lucifer fell to his knees. The throne split in two. The stones that once glittered turned to ash. He looked down, and for a moment the ancient beauty flickered within his eyes. "Why would you descend so low for them?" he whispered, more confession than challenge. Jesus looked upon him in silence, then answered, "Because I love them." The words became substance. Love, something hell had never understood, crossed the abyss like purifying fire. The sound that followed was not destruction, but restoration. The universe shifted back into balance, justice restored, time bowing to the eternal. When Christ ascended, the gates of hell remained open, not for entry, but for testimony. The fractured throne became a living reminder that evil rules only until the moment love chooses to descend. The keys of death and Hades were once again in the rightful hands. The sentence had been fulfilled, the debt paid, the cycle closed. Heaven, which had wept, now sang. The earth, still in mourning, did not know that beneath its feet eternity had changed direction. The Lamb who had been slain now walked as king, and every step he took left a trace of victory that no age will ever erase. Since that day, every shadow carries the echo of that confrontation. Hell continues to roar, but its voice is only memory. Sin still wounds, but it has lost the right to own. And death, once calling itself sovereign, is now merely a servant of the God who defeated it. The universe, once divided between light and darkness, now bears a third reality: redemption. Nothing is entirely lost. Nothing is completely broken. The cross was not the end, but the axis around which all creation was redesigned. Every collected tear, every forgotten prayer, every silent cry of faith has, since that day, found its way back home. And when the final name is called and light covers everything time has corrupted, the true throne will remain, untouched, unchanging, eternal. Hell will be only memory and love, the very foundation of the cosmos. For hell was invaded, not by an army, but by a wounded man who carried within himself the power of the eternal. And the echo of that day still crosses the centuries, reminding those who dwell in darkness that the door remains open, waiting for all who still dare to believe that no darkness is too deep for the light.